Indonesia memiliki peran strategis dalam berbagai isu termasuk penanganan terorisme. Setelah serangan teroris yang terjadi di Lahore, Pakistan mendorong untuk segera terwujudnya organisasi negara-negara Islam yang lebih aktif lagi dalam penanganan terorisme. Beberapa hari lalu Amelia Yahya mendapat kesempatan untuk mewawancara eksklusif dengan Duta Besar Pakistan untuk Indonesia, Muhammad Aqil Nadim.
Your Excellency, Indonesia and Pakistan are unfortunately not strangers when it comes to terrorist attacks. So what do you think, what do these two countries have in common?
Well, important thing is that we have historical and cultural similarities. We both are large majority Muslim countries, and we share a lot of things, and the radicalism which has spread in large number of Muslim countries has affected both our countries, and both our countries have this challenge of countering this radicals wave, and we are cooperating with each other. We have a number of institutional arrangements whereby we exchange intelligence with each other. You perhaps know that the most notorious Indonesian terrorist who was involved in the Bali bombing, Omar Patek, was arrested in Pakistan because of this cooperation, and we have institutional cooperation, and then we have a joint working group on counterterrorism, which regularly meets and coordinates strategies to combat this menace.
Your Excellency, ISIS, Taliban, other terrorist organizations, and their unfortunate attraction to troubled youth are tearing down not just the Western world, but especially the Muslim world as well. And one example that I'm going to highlight here is the unfortunate, the San Bernardino attack in California, where one of the suspects was reportedly from Pakistan. So how will the governments, as well as the people, counter future terrorism, terrorist organizations, as well as religious extremism?
Well, I think that this is not an individual country's responsibility. It's a collective international responsibility. We need to go back in history and see how these radical were brought together to fight Soviet Union, in Afghanistan. So this was an international adventure, and responsibility lies with the international community. So there's a dire need to cooperate with each other instead of pointing fingers at different countries because of the presence of these radical elements. We need to have a very comprehensive international strategy to combat this this problem. Additionally, we need to look at the issues which provide fodder to these radical elements, how they are so successful in motivating people to engage in violent activities. We need to look at that. There are root causes of terrorism, and those root causes need to be addressed. For example, there are many international conflicts which need to be resolved, which apparently impact the Muslim world, and apparently there is not much progress in resolving those issues. And because those issues don't get resolved, that provides very good propaganda mileage to these radical elements, that there is a world which is against us, and we need to get united and need to fight back.
Your Excellency, Pakistan and Indonesia represent the biggest voices in the Muslim world. So briefly, how would you want to have these two countries or other countries that represent the Muslim world convey? What message would you like to convey to the world?
Well, I think as far as Muslim countries are concerned, most of the Muslim countries are currently going through a very volatile times, and there's a requirement to develop joint strategy, and I think Organization of Islamic Conference is a very useful tool to address those issues. They need to develop a strategy on how to address those issues, how to get together, and and address the internal division between the Muslim countries. You know, at the moment there are many Muslim countries which are actually at daggers drawn with each other, you know, and that needs to be addressed. Their differences need to be gulfed, you know, and that can only happen if a very effective organization steps in, you know, and take a neutral stance and try to address the concerns of all the different factions, different countries, you know, and I'm sure that they are capable of doing that. They need more support from all these Muslim countries to take initiatives in this regard.
Your Excellency, would like to preface this and again end this by expressing our sincere gratitude. Thank you so much for joining us here on CNN Indonesia.
Thank you very much for having me.